Sup everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Kazuha. I know it's Ito Spotlight. However, I've just been getting too many people DMing me asking, hey, I absolutely need to get Kazuha. I love Kazuha so much. Well, we're going to talk about that statement a little later, right? Because recently I've come to the understanding that you might not love Kazuha as much as you think you love Kazuha. Like I said, we'll talk about that a little later. But it's come to a point where I feel like people are borderline thinking that if they don't have Kazuha, their account is worthless. It's not even worth playing anymore. That they will forever play a subpar account, building subpar teams, dealing subpar damage. And I don't know where this started. Is it the tier list people? Is it the excessive craze over the fact that he is the most utilized in Abyss? Where is this coming from? Why do people think that without Kazuha, they somehow have a subpar account? What is the reasoning to say, I have to get Kazuha? I have to skip everyone to get Kazuha. Why? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you why I think this is the case and why I think in some cases, yes, it's justified to think in terms of strength, efficiency, and the betterment for your account, and when it's just way over the top and borderline toxic. So when it comes to Kazuha, one irrefutable truth is the fact that he is a viridescent user gives him access to immense elemental resistance shredding, and I think it's no secret that Kazuha currently is the most preferred viridescent user. Now, another thing is that just because Kazuha is the best doesn't mean there are no other characters capable of doing this. If you don't have Kazuha, there are plenty of units who can use viridescence, albeit maybe not to the level of Kazuha. Now, when I say that, you might think, oh wow, does somehow Kazuha just give me more shred? Well, not necessarily. It's in the manner of which that he does it and how it contributes to your overall flow of combat. You see, when Kazuha uses his elemental skill, it's quite easy to have the swirl reaction not only be applied in a huge area of effect, but also slightly group the mobs together towards the center if they are groupable. If they are non-groupable mobs, it still gives you a quick press of a button access with you as the center to apply a swirl reaction, which if you think about the way we do conduct combat for the most part, that is incredibly valuable because you don't really have to aim, you really just have to worry about positioning. And we all know how terrifying it is to rely on the in-game auto-targeting system. Furthermore, his burst functions in a very similar manner to his elemental skill, but albeit in a much bigger area, and is prolonged. There are many good things about this character, but the thing that scares me the most is the fact that whether you are a waifu husbando player or a meta-only player, it can be justified to say that Kazuha will make your account better. That's what scares me the most, because even if you say, I am only 4-star free-to-play player, I don't want to get any Archons, I don't care about meta, I just want my 4-star waifu, Barbara, to do the best on-field main DPS damage she can possibly do. Well, you see, in that situation, Kazuha can really help you with that, right? Do you guys start seeing what I mean? Is that for people who say, I don't care about meta, I just care about a couple characters that I want to play in main. If your character does elemental damage, Kazuha is usually the best product you can slap onto these characters to make them perform at the highest level, at their highest level. In a way, think of Kazuha as like a $300 screwdriver. I mean, sure, a normal handy dandy one-piece screwdriver is gonna get the job done, but if you make a living off of constructions and home maintenance and whatever, yeah, dropping the $300 on a top-of-the-line $300 screwdriver that has interchangeable tips and magnetic tip connectors probably is justified. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you think you are a dedicated elemental damage enthusiast, you love elemental damage units, or you just happen to be maining one right now, of course, by all means, get Kazuha. It's gonna change your life. You'll never see the game the same again. Like, if that's what you want me to say, and that's how you want me to recommend this character, sure, that is your recommendation. But for the people who care about why this video is even here, continue watching. Remember, in the beginning, I said you might not like Kazuha the way that you think you like Kazuha. And one of the reasons is that with the recent release of Yellen and being able to compare her to someone like Yaimiko, it quickly comes to light when people say, oh, I play and build only my waifu or husbandos. I don't care whether they're in the meta or not. Well, you are in the minority. Let's just be honest here. Because one thing we can say for certain is like, while people scream about endgame, people scream about this and that, and I've made videos saying the majority of the community doesn't agree with you, all right? And that's still true. However, what seems to be the case is the majority of the community does care about who performs well and who doesn't perform well, who feels good to play and who doesn't feel so good to play. Yaimiko was like a top tier waifu. She's been teased even before she was originally released, and people were so excited for her, and with her release, she kind of fell face flat into the ground when it comes to her sales. Yes, it's an estimate, but I refuse to believe that the estimate is so skewed. Somehow Yaimiko is like top of the line. No, Yaimiko is a very mid to low mid tier character when it comes to her sales, and that's for good reason. Why do people not want to drop gems for her? There were many people who were planning to pull on her, saw how she performed, and just noped the hell out of there. Well, you see, here is the simple answer for you guys. Because a love for a character or a desire for a character doesn't only revolve around how good they look, their personalities, their voice actors, the color of their pants. It's just not that simple, because at the end of the day, you are going to be playing this character. You are going to be spending a mass amount of time farming, grinding months on end for this character. You want to know that at the end of the line, they're going to perform really well. So with Kazuha, I think there is such a big skew towards the fact that he performs so well that it doesn't matter if you like his appearance or not. Yeah, I mean, he looks good. If that means anything in this regard, he has class, he's quiet, he has that samurai vibe about him, I guess. But really, it's just about how he performs. You're gonna tell me if this dude isn't the top of the line Viridescent user with over 90% Abyss usage, that you are gonna be this crazy for him? Cut the BS, man. It's of course because of how good he is. Now that I've said that, here is something else that you need to understand. Do you know who came before Kazuha? It was Venti. And at the time, people were crazy for Venti. Some couldn't wait for his rerun. And when his rerun came around, people went crazy for him. And then Kazuha came around to kind of slap Venti right in the booty cheeks and send him on his way. You guys have to discern that characters by themselves are not strong. They may have the best kit, they may have the best damage multipliers, elemental typing, whatever the hell you want, but it's always up to the content that decides who is used more and why they're used more. Right now, there is a scenario where HoYoverse can choose to completely gut Kazuha and turn him into Venti 2.0 if they wanted to. They're not going to do that, and I'm telling you guys they're not going to do that, because Venti was a mistake. I've made multiple videos talking about this. Kazuha is not a mistake. Kazuha was introduced to solve the mistake that they made with Venti, and going forward, they will not make that same mistake again. So Kazuha isn't going anywhere. But my point with that is, it doesn't matter how good a character is in the game, HoYoverse could easily make them look like crap if they wanted to, just by designing content that make this kind of unit struggle. An example would be, let's say you think Raiden C3 is really good, right? Well, sure. What if they released mobs that has 0 defense, but then jack their HP up by 10 times? Yeah, it's bad game design. A lot of characters are going to suffer, but it really takes away the advantage of Raiden C2. Or if you think freeze is very good, what if they release units that are anti-freeze, and they release a bunch of these monsters like little gremlins that run super fast, that can teleport, like dimensional shift gremlins that phases through dimensions and appears behind you? Well, how are you going to enjoy your Ayaka at that time? And while they're also unfreezable, I'm giving terrible examples, but I'm hoping that these points and examples are helping you understand that it's not the characters that are strong. Yes, the characters are strong given the circumstances of the content that we are facing right now. There will always be a meta. There will always be something for you to use that feels better than other options. However, there has never ever once been a scenario in the Spiral Abyss where you could not complete the challenge without certain characters. It has always been that certain characters receives additional benefits, which makes it much easier to complete the challenge. Kazuha just happens to be a character that has been riding high on this elemental damage carry centric meta with the Ayakas, with the Raiden Shoguns, with the Electro Charge, driver teams, reverse reaction teams, anything you can name, right? It's just that he happens to be slotted in this case very well. Now going forward, does that mean Viridescent is not going to exist anymore? Of course not. Viridescent is going to be in game forever. As long as there's an elemental team, there's a place for Viridescent teams. But it's best that I urge you to look at your account, to reevaluate what your priorities are. Yes, Kazuha is strong. He is a very good character, but Sucrose works amazing as well. I know you guys want the best that there is available, but it helps in this case to just leave 1 year open and listen to the possibilities of people from the future whispering in your ear. Characters don't get nerfed in this game, people. Venti never got nerfed. I think it's wrong to say that Venti got nerfed because they didn't do anything to Venti. They literally just took away the things that were weak against Venti and put in things that were slightly favorable for Kazuha. Know the difference, people. Hoyoverse cannot legally nerf characters, so they are working in this technically legally gray area where, okay, we're not going to nerf the characters, but we're just going to design different content to make the characters feel good and bad in certain eras of the game. You've been making a wild mistake if you think getting Kazuha is going to mean that you're going to breeze through content for years and years on end without ever having to worry about team options. That's all I wanted to say. I wish you guys the best of luck pulling Kazuha. I wish you guys construct the best of teams for your waifus, husbandos, and I hope that going into the future, you can look back in time and say, I made the right choice. And I think you will, but it would be a mistake to bank everything in this character hoping he's going to solve your problems for all eternity when it comes to Genshin Impact. This isn't a game that is so hard where you need all the characters, but it also isn't so easy that you can smash through everything with one team. That's just the kind of game it is. It's more reliant on utility nowadays than it is on big damage numbers. And with that said, thank you guys so much. I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and tune in to my live streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I hope to see you guys all there and in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Peace, peace. Bye.